All right, guys, going live in 5, 4.
Good morning, golfing world. Welcome to the RoundTable. TGD today. Don't you look sweet?
You got pink on too, so don't you be going there.
Good morning, Alvin.
Did you guys plan that, or that just happened?
No, it's just spontaneity.
There you go.
That's right.
You can't beat it.
Alvin. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are the chipmunks?
There's Simon and Theodore.
He comes in and lays that on me this morning. Yeah. This lady I love like a mother, she's listening to the past programs last night, and she goes, Alvin, I'm just so proud of you. And I'm going, oh, yes, I've got something. Oh, yeah, baby.
There you go. You can't beat it.
Everybody doing well?
Doing okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good day. We're upright.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
New headphones?
New headphones?
Sweet.
Thank you, sir.
Nice. Like $8? Big
Yeah,
lots?
$8.50. Yeah. You can't beat
Really?
it. Buy
Before
one pair,
tax?
Buy one pair, get one pair free. So
Yeah. And a pair of
beat it.
sunglasses?
Heck yeah.
Man.
You can't beat it.
He gets those deals, dude.
I told him, I said, charge me double and cut it in half. That's what I'm willing to pay you today.
Okay.
Yep.
You did get a sleeve of balls?
No balls. No.
No.
No. It's 300 kinds of wrong right there.
That is.
I expected them, but I didn't.
I'll get you a sleeve.
Okay.
I know where there's a sleeve of something
There
laying
you go.
around.
You can't beat
I
it.
was going to go there, but you know, you know where
That's why I just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah. Well, Hugh, baby, you
Yes,
had an interesting Monday.
Yeah. It was
Interesting Monday. We talked about it briefly last Thursday, but Monday was the day.
Yep. It was.
I'm so sorry, man.
I'm proud of him, though. I mean,
Yeah, I am
they
too.
ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with what
George,
yeah.
you figure, it's the first thing I've played in since the qualifier last year, and I went out and I hit 15 greens. I made one mistake and I missed by a shot. And
You shot even par, 72.
yep.
Which is very
A
respectable.
gentleman made it at 70, another gentleman at 71, and then you at 72.
Yep.
Second alternative.
Dude, you're a past PGA playing professional. You can't break par. What's
well,
up
if you
with
look
that?
at the numbers, that nobody else was.
I mean, the scores were high.
The scores were
golf
high,
course at
yeah.
Berkeley Hall and South Course. I mean, it was.
Well, speaking of scores high, I understand that you were doing a lot of ball searching.
Yeah, it was tough to concentrate on my own game from, worried about water moccasins and rattlesnakes and hunting golf balls. But, nice guys. Just they were in a situation that they shouldn't have been in. And I don't know if they will be able to do it again.
Over their head?
Yeah, it's hard to go out and compete on that level trying to qualify for a senior U.S.
That's where
Open
I'm getting at. Yeah.
with someone shooting 92 in your group and another person shooting, 82. So the 82 wasn't so bad.
82, yeah.
I mean, he played good for a while and he got tired late, but he was, an older gentleman. But, it was the other was a little tough.
Yeah, I imagine.
I mean, I almost got hit twice.
Was this a first attempt or
Yeah.
is this – oh, okay. So he just something in his mind said, hey, I'm a 2-handicapper. I'm over 50. I'm going to give the U.S. Senior Open qualifier a shot.
Yeah.
Was that it?
Yeah.
And then realisms hit him about hole 3.
Probably on
no,
the
first
first hole.
First
That's
hole?
what I
First
thought.
hole.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was the hard part is, and I guess the thing that bugged me the most is, there were several of us that played either the web.com, which back when we played it was a Nike tour. 2 of them qualified. Marion Dantzler's from Orangeburg. He shot 70 and was medalist, and he's kind of, we tease him. He's a lifer with the NGA and the mini tours and stuff, but he did play the web.com for a year or two here and there, and then Charles Rawlerson, who's a good friend of mine and
Right.
director of golf down in Jacksonville, was there, and he played out there as well and played at Clemson. And you had some others that didn't make it that were former web.com
Right,
players,
right.
and the fact that
They
they
had
don't
tour experience. They had tournament experience. They had –
and you would think that they would put those in that category together to play golf, and they
Together.
didn't. And
That's a good point.
And again, I have all the respect for the South Carolina Amateur Golf Association here because they're great people and they run great golf tournaments. But I think that's where my argument comes in with the USGA or local, or statewide amateur associations. You've got amateurs trying to run a professional event, and they just don't quite get it. It's not an amateur event, and you should have categories to where your pairings are set.
I think with events like this, you've got two types of players. You've got a gentleman that stands a chance at it. Someone that's been in the ropes, before. A seasoned veteran, and then you've got somebody that's just wanting to go out there and say, hey, I tried to qualify for the U.S. Open.
And that's exactly
what
it was.
In the back of their mind, that they're not going to get there. But they just want the experience to say, I went to qualify.
And not to be
not that that's a bad thing.
No,
but I mean,
it's not. And I don't want to sound like the bad,
right,
the spoiled
right.
brat tour player, a former tour player, or whatever.
Yeah, but you are, dude.
Well, I am. But when you're playing with people that walk in your line or walk in front of you while you're getting ready to hit a shot, that just don't know the etiquette of professional golf.
Right.
It's a hard thing to calm down, and it was very good for me because it actually made me sit back and think, all right, just chill out and let's get back in a routine and go. And it was good in some aspects. It really was. Mm-hmm. But, when you've got guys stepping in your line or in your through line on the putting green, and for those of you that don't understand, that's, 5 to 6 feet past the hole on your line, you don't step in that line.
Well, you need to make sure you identify where the other marks are of the other putts that are in your group. And even walking behind the hole, you don't walk right behind the hole and right behind in their line.
No.
Because you have to assume that they're going to make their putting attempt. They're going to miss the putt long by at least 6 to 18 inches. So you don't want to mar up that area past the cup.
Exactly. And
for these people.
And, I mean, you're talking – and Berkeley Hall did a fantastic job with the golf course. I mean, the greens were rolling 12, Bermuda grass. Mm-hmm. And the golf course was in great shape, had some rough. And, you get greens that are that quick, they're closely mown. And even though we don't wear spikes anymore – the soft spikes still do damage on a green.
Mark, yeah.
And,
definitely.
That kind of stuff, it can wear on you after a while. And then, again, when you're hunting golf balls to try to help speed up play and you've got rules officials riding around watching you because you're a hole and a half behind the group in front of you, even though it's not your fault and they're not timing you,
right? You
still feel like, why are I don't want to make a mistake.
Right.
Exactly.
And, with a couple of them, amateur rules officials, they see you get one bad time, they're going to say something.
Yes, was there any apology from this individual?
Yeah. Towards the end.
Toward the end. Yeah.
But life is what it is. You have to go.
Sure.
You have to go with the hand you're dealt and play it. And I thought I handled it pretty well. I hit a lot of great shots, George. I told you about a couple of them. That just. You hit two drivers. You hit a driver into a par 5, and it's going in there hot and just like you wanted, and it hits the ground.
By the way, dude, when you were going shot by shot through the round with me that evening, okay, which by the way I always enjoy you doing, okay, and then you tell me you're on this par 5, you're 267 out from the pin, you're 240 plus from the front edge. And you've kind of got a bunker here guarding the front left. You got a bunker guarding the right. You got a little area of about 8 yards wide to get up onto the tongue. So I hit driver off the deck, and I'm going, you're in the U.S. Senior Open qualifier, dude. You hit driver off the deck? That was I didn't say that. I said, good for you. Good for you. But that wasn't my thought process.
Well, and if if we could get Heather on the phone,
I wouldn't have teed one up in the fairway and
get Heather on the phone. She'll tell you I'm infamous for doing that off the tee or off the deck in the fairway.
No.
And I hit the shot exactly like I wanted to, and it was a low hard cut, and it landed probably about 10 feet short of the green, and it didn't roll 6 feet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not wet. It hadn't rained. And I'm like going, how? And now I'm in the front.
It just hit and died.
And I'm in
with a driver.
And I'm in the front fringe, and I've got no chance to get it close.
Right.
If this thing rolls up into the middle or into the back of the green, I've got an easy 2-putt for a birdie.
Sure.
And now all of a sudden the game changes.
You're short-sighted.
And so I end up being short-sighted without even thinking about it because I didn't think there was any way to leave it short.
Right.
And so
coming in with the driver, you would fully expect it if you hit the gap between those bunkers, that it would scoot, and probably then your troublesome shot would be pitching back onto the green because it ran across
which
high.
is cake, and there was water right, and that wasn't even in play, and it was. I'm like, all right, I've just hit as soon as I hit it, I said just be right, because I knew I hit it exactly like I wanted to.
Right.
And then I said, okay, end up making par there, and I go around and I get to another hole, and I hit a sand wedge on this little short hole. You could almost drive the green. I hit it up there about 25 yards short, and wedged it to about 1.5 feet, made birdie, and I'm going, okay, I'm even par. I've got some holes coming in. I got to get past this next one because it's a hard one. Hit it in there I drove it good and hit it to probably about 20 feet behind the hole, coming downhill, down green, thinking, all right, just get it started, get it on your line. There's not a lot there. And it comes up this far short, and I'm like, there's no way to leave it short. And so I'm like, tap it in, boom, par. All right, now I'm going to 17. It's a par 5. I drove it perfect, just out of the fairway in the right side. It's a dog leg right over a bunker, and drove it over the bunker. And, I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is perfect.
You got it over that bunker on
yeah.
17.
Yeah.
Nice shot, dude.
And so I'm standing there. I'm in the rough, and I'm going, this is perfect, because the pin's back left over a bunker on a down slope. I saw the mark the day before, knew exactly where it was. I've got 242 to the middle of the green, basically to where the flag is left, but it's to the middle of the green. And I've got 228 to the front. So I take the hybrid. And, typical Hilton Head, you've got a tree, and limbs come out and cover.
Definitely.
But it kind of bows, so I can go under it. And I just burn this thing and turn it over right to left, and it jumps. And I'm going, man, this is all right. I can get to one under here. I got a shot. It plugged in the front fringe.
Was that soft?
A flyer.
The
It was
green-
into the
was that
green,
soft?
but it was that
Yeah.
soft. But I mean, it wasn't wet. The ground was hard. Balls were rolling, and it plugged. So I take it out, clean it, drop it, whatever. Now I've got to put up a slope into the green that's probably about 4.5 feet in height, and on the other side where the pin's on that slope, on that down slope.
Yeah.
Which I gave Mike Murphy a lot of flack about that, because it's on a slope. Put it on a flat spot. You can use the slope to get to it, and I'm like, the last thing I can do is leave this short. That's my one mistake.
Right.
And I hit it a touch hard, and it went about 10 feet past the hole, 12 feet. And I'm thinking, that's fine. I can come in back uphill into the green, 10, 12 feet, no big deal. And I hit the putt, and I played it a ball out, and it's breaking, and it's perfect speed. And I'm going, all right, I'm one under him. And as I go to kind of go get it, it just power lips and comes back. And I'm like,
Yep.
And I mean, I had 5 of those.
Oh,
I'm not talking
man.
about where they just hit the lip. I'm talking about where they horseshoe.
Yep.
Right.
Come
And
back
I'm going,
at you. Yep.
Okay, make par there, go to 18. I drove it good. I hit a 5-iron to about, 18 feet past the hole, just like the one I told you earlier, coming downhill, down grade. I'm like, all you got to do is hit your line. You can't leave it short. And it's that far short, in the mouth, dead going in. I shoot even. I know, it's not going to make it. And I get there. Now, all of a sudden, I'm in third place after all, tied with 4 other guys, and we've got to go to a playoff for an alternate spot.
Right.
And so
Right.
I go 4 holes, and 2 of them go out, and it's me and this other guy. He makes about a 12, 15-footer for a birdie after I lipped out from 18 feet, and he gets it in first or second. And neither one of us will probably get in.
Right.
I won't. He might. But to not play in a year and something like that, George, and go out,
Right.
you know how nervous I was about it, because I haven't played in competition. I had practiced.
Plus, you didn't have me on the bag.
I understand.
So, yeah.
But it just –
And it's
I carried my bag for 22 holes and felt good, and I hit the ball well. You hit 15 greens and you shoot even par, you can't complain.
Hats off to you because of how well you played and the distractions that you had.
That's
during
what I
the
was.
round.
That's what I was just thinking. It is tough because it.
'Cause
When you're,
that
it
kinda
takes you
takes
out of
it
your
to another
element.
level.
It takes you out of your element. You've got to. You can't solely focus on what you're doing. You know what I mean? You've got to mentally break free from that and then go in a completely different direction. So it makes it tough.
Well, and a lot of people would
It
say,
really
we'll
does.
just let them hunt their own balls, but that's just not
No.
the proper courtesy thing to do in golf. And
No.
you could be a jerk and say, okay, you're on your own, good luck.
Yeah.
But that's you've got to spend 5.5 hours with them. I mean,
Yep.
you don't want to have that issue. And I just, it's just part of life, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
All I know is I got home. Heather was very, very excited about the way I played and happy.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
she was.
And
Yeah.
she's going to write some letters, and we're going to try to reach some contacts and see if we can't get in a few things, and we'll see what happens.
Exempts. Yeah.
Try to get a couple of exemptions and
Yeah.
stuff, and maybe do a Monday here or there. But it's to go out and play the way I did and hit the ball the way I did, it was interesting because hitting 5 irons from 190 yards is a different ball game for me, and it
Right.
just shows the practice and the work that I put into it to get my muscles and my body back in golf shape, and the distance I picked up because we played, and I wasn't hitting it that far or doing anything, and for me to stand on the 18th hole, the first playoff hole, into the wind, and the guy that ended up getting first alternate, he's 6'4" and hits it about 330, and he rips it off the first hole, and I just stood up there and hit a nice solid drive, and I hit it 310 right next to him into the wind. I was like, this is something new.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
you hit 8 iron into the green in the playoff, and in regulation I hit 5 iron. So that tells you the difference in the
wind.
So
Yeah.
and plus in the shot. So
Well, I want to mention also U.S. Senior Open qualifiers were also held in Atlanta on Monday, and one of our friends, Dave Mad Dog Maddox, he missed it also by 1 shot.
shot same score.
And Dave was 5 under through 8.
That's awesome.
He goes 5 under in the first 8 holes. And he made 2 poor club selections, both of which, one, he felt like he was amped up and he could go with the lower club, like a 9 iron, when he should have actually hit an 8.
Right.
And ended up plugging in the lip of a bunker. Almost disappeared. It took him a while to find the ball. In the second one, he hit too much club.
Right.
Because he was so amped up and flew the green and ended up in a hazard and had to catch up.
Right.
And so he shoots 33 on the front, 39 on the back, and misses it by 1. And so hats off to Dave. Good playing.
Yeah.
Of course, Dave made it 2 years ago. Of which, of course, you look at his caddy, that was why he made it. So I'll pat myself. That's okay.
Guess who that was, right?
No,
Legend in his own
a
mind.
legend in my own mind.
That's
no doubt
right.
about it. I'm glad you did as well as you did, dude.
I'm tickled, man.
Yeah,
I'm proud
thanks.
of you.
Thank you both. I was pretty pleased with it myself, and it's something that I've wanted to kind of tinker with, and Heather has come to the point to where she told me, she goes, it's your time now to start.
Well,
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and extend on Heather's comments there. You were born to play golf.
That's right.
God gave you the talents, gave you the abilities to do it. He didn't honor me with it. He gave Al the brains. So this is your time. Let's go do it. And
Right.
if I have to reduce your clubs down to 5 or 6 so I can carry them in the bag, then so be it. I mean, you'll just learn to play with those.
Yeah, well, it's been
So-
done before, but it's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
cool. I want to thank all the folks from social media, Facebook, Twitter, and all that sent me messages before and after, and it's pretty amazing the people that follow you that you don't really realize they do, and to get the comments that I've gotten from folks.
Well, a
former
lot of the
tour
guys
players
on
and
tour,
friends.
I've heard that. You've heard it. I've heard from several that this is where you should be. You need to be out there with them. They miss you. They miss you being out there. We'll miss you here, but of course, if it's you here or you out there, I'd much rather see you out there, frankly.
It'd be in his
You agree,
element.
Alvin?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No,
Alvin and I can hold the ship.
But-
That's
but-
not a big deal.
I understand that, and I'm not going to bail on everybody.
Yeah, he ain't gonna
anyway.
I'll
bail.
get
Yeah.
Boucheroni in here.
Yeah.
I mean, Boos will come take this chair in a heartbeat.
And Boots will probably have to hire me when I fail anyway, so I'll have a place to play and practice, to teach, and I can become a shirt folder or something. So.
He'll have 150 golf courses by then.
Oh, I know.
So
I know.
he'll own the East Coast. So hats off to you. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank
We're proud
you.
of you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Hats off to Maddox, again, friend of ours. And I just want to get everybody a warning here in the Grand Strand specifically. We go worldwide, okay? But here in the Grand Strand, coming up this Saturday evening for 7 days, the Coggins are going to be in the Grand Strand. Yes, Jeff, put your hands on your head, hide the children, go ahead and close all the golf courses. Ryan and Dennis Coggin are coming over from Atlanta.
And y'all thought Bike Week was supposed to be bad.
Oh, no. You've
Bike
seen
Week's
nothing.
Bike Week's
got nothing on the Coggins.
Nothing on the Coggins.
Nothing.
So
You're going to see things that you've only heard about.
Oh, I've seen him. I've played
And
golf with him, and we're going to have to do it again, I'm sure.
And some things you have never heard about. You couldn't imagine.
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
It's called Noonan, Georgia.
Yeah. So next week on Monday Morning Golf Wrap, now you have to attend a PGA function, don't you?
Yes, on the 8th.
Okay, so I will do Monday Morning Golf Wrap, and I'm bringing the Coggins in with me to do Monday Morning Golf Wrap. And Al, I'm going to ask you if you can swing by. I need a co-host.
You got it.
So
I'll
if
do
you
it.
can swing by Monday,
Sure.
do Monday Morning Golf Wrap with us here on TGD Radio and TV. And I just need help babysitting these two. That's all it is, because you're not going to be here.
The problem is Jeff's going to be going, hang on. He's going to spend 30 minutes in here trying to tell me that you got to watch your language. You got to be careful. You can't, that's going to be you're going to be.
Oh, you should.
He's going to be on pins and
This is a
needles.
G-rated
the
show.
disclaimers, the waivers that they're going to have to sign. And what's going to be funny is you can't tell one's ex from the other's ex. You can't tell the difference. You really can't tell the difference. To this day, I've known them for 25 years. I can't tell the difference in their signatures.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. Oh, I wanted to let you know I got I've got to go to Columbus end of the month for some stuff from Daddy's estate, and
Right.
Talk to Mike McCollum. He's going to help me with my. He's helped me figure out what I've got to do for my test out for my Class A.
Okay.
And he asked me. He said, "I don't know if you remember Billy Weir, was our big ping rep in Georgia."
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Weir died several years ago, and Mr. Weir is the reason I played ping, and it took him a good 5 or 6 years to convince my dad to let me play ping.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought Gary Hart to Columbus for the Southern Open, and they came out and watched me hit balls. And Gary says, "All right, I know exactly what you need." He goes, "Get your dad to let you do it, and I'll send you whatever you want." And Mr. Weir bought my first set of clubs from Ping.
Mm-hmm.
And when he died, he didn't have any children, so he did a college endowment or a trust or whatever to go towards underprivileged kids
And that's
to
awesome.
help them go to college.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike asked me if I was going to be in Columbus, the 25th during the weekend of the Senior Open, that if I didn't get in, and if I was going to be down there to please, if I would speak at that. And I said, absolutely. I said, because there's nobody that was closer to Mr. Weir than myself.
Right,
and,
right.
He married Shirley Seagraves, and who was like my mom. She did all the scoreboards for all the Georgia State Golf Association stuff and state opens, and so I'm going to have the privilege to speak about a man that influenced my life and my career, which
Fantastic,
is going
man.
to be something pretty.
man, that's
cool to
great.
do. It'll be fun.
We need to probably do a road trip, because we can pop down. It's only 30 minutes down the road. We can pop down and see Mr. Schreier, Coach Schreier.
Yeah, he's just over in Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could pop down there and see how Dave's doing and hook up and maybe even play some golf.
Yeah. Well, he can't
Go
play.
see-
He just had elbow surgery or something. So
Well, I didn't say I wanted him to play golf. I
Yeah,
said
we
you
could
and I could stop by and see Wyatt over at Callaway Gardens and
yeah,
maybe play the old mountain course.
we could play Mountain View. Absolutely.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. You give me 9 aside, we're on.
Yeah. Spot died.
I want to welcome. Spot died.
It's
You
18
kill me, dude.
altogether there.
300 kinds of wrong right there, ain't it, Alvin?
three-
Dude,
300
they've
kinds
got
wrong.
the marker right there on the back of the tee. Spot die. Here's where he lays.
Yeah.
Right behind the first tee.
Yeah, that's true. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the roundtable here at TGD today. Alvin, good to see you. Hugh, thank you, buddy.
My pleasure.
Beautiful shirt.
Thank you. You too.
Sexy.
Nice hair.
TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages, where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much, much more. Need help with your next golf vacation?
Just call Dave.
Give us a call, 844-GO-GOLF1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on any show you may have missed, click on the TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1
billion.
Thank you.
With a B.
Devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and of course the Myrtle Beach Golf app. For Dr. Grind, Al Cloyd, HR3, Hugh Roy III, I'm George Honeycutt, the Godfather, and we want to thank you for joining Jeff and Big D behind the glass, joining us here on TGD today. There's more golf news and information coming up next.